Hi guys, my name is Maxim. I'm an online seller on Amazon and I use the distribution channel Amazon FBA. And lately I've been in China for a business trip to visit some suppliers and to visit the Canton Fair, the world's largest fair. In this video I would like to share some tips, some recommendations. I will tell you if I recommend going to China in person, and stay tuned. So first of all, why have I been to China and where have I been in China? As it is a pretty large country, where have I been? I've been to Guangzhou, hope I pronounce it right. It's in southern China, it's not too far away from Shenzhen and Hong Kong. The reason why I've been there, I visited some of my suppliers or moreover future suppliers, and I visited the Canton Fair. Phase 3, but I will talk about the Canton Fair in the next video in detail. In this video I will give some tips, which applications do you need, how it was, and if I would recommend it to you to go yourself as well to China. So what should you prepare in advance? And I will name some useful apps. So you should know in China nearly every European apps are censored. You can't use them. So there is no Instagram, there's no Facebook, there's no YouTube, no Google products at all. So if you normally use Google Maps, it won't work. If you use Gmail, it won't work. No Google products at all. So there's a list of apps and websites which aren't working, which are restricted, which you can't visit. WhatsApp doesn't work as well. So if you communicate with your friends and family, etc. on WhatsApp, in my case, I don't know why, it still has worked. Sometimes better, sometimes less, but it has worked. But in general, yeah, it doesn't work. It will also be shut down. Not if you have a VPN. I do not have a VPN. I do not have a VPN to recommend. Some times ago I used NordVPN, I don't know, but have a look. And so if you go to China, make sure that upfront you install a VPN. Once in China it won't work, at least was my case. That's it, upfront a VPN, so you still can use the local apps. So some important apps to use. The most important in my mind is Alipay or WeChat. You can also pay with it, but I haven't done that, so I only know Alipay. In China, nearly no one uses money and nearly no one uses and accepts credit cards. That means everything is done by Alipay. It's an application. In every shop you have like a QR code, and even in small shops, and after you can pay, receive, etc. money. So very important. I think this is the most important thing, and luckily I've done it upfront. I have installed Alipay, and you can link your credit card to it. I think also debit card. I think in my case it only was a debit card, but it worked. I heard also cases where it doesn't work, but try it. It's important in my mind. I think it's the most important thing to pay. If not, you won't be able to pay nowhere. That's the first thing. First most important app. The second most important app in my mind is Didi. It's Didi, and so it's like the local Uber, because Uber of course doesn't work as well in China. So on Didi you can order taxis or Ubers. Yes, you can use transportation. You have to say it's pretty decent in China. I liked it very much. The drivers arrive fast in general, normally in 3 to maybe 5-6 minutes, but normally not longer. A driver will arrive. They all drive like very nice electric cars. No Teslas, but they have their own cars like BYD, Build Your Dream, like very nice, decent electric cars. It's also not too expensive. Normally if you go very far, you maybe go 30 kilometers or something, maybe it could be 10-15 euros, but in general it's not too expensive. So that's the second app I would recommend, and there's as well a third app I would recommend. The name is trips.com, and on trips.com you're able to book hotels, you're able to book trains if you want to. If you want to visit China, if you, for example, you're in one city and you will go to another city, for example, I was in Guangzhou, and one day I had planned to go to Shantou, another city which is, by the way, known for kids' toys, and I wanted to visit a supplier there, but unfortunately there was a Chinese holiday, and so all the trains was booked out. Really, all the trains was booked out. So sometimes maybe you should inform yourself a bit better than I have done it, but for me it has worked out well, even with nearly no information, but luckily at least I had Alipay and Didi and trips.com. So with trips.com you can book hotels. If you will go to the Canton Fair, I would recommend to book a hotel near the Canton Fair. I was in like a very Chinese hotel. I think I paid something around 50 euros a night, and it was like the room was cleaned every day, but if not, there was no windows and it was really not like crazy. But just have a look. I think it's also like when the Canton Fair takes place, I think the prices are doubled or tripled. But there are as well some other nice hotels near to the Canton Fair. I've also been like 15 minutes away. I could walk to the Canton Fair. There's sometimes really bad traffic as well when the Canton Fair starts and ends. And so I was in a nice hotel. You can find them on trips.com. Booking in China won't work. I think upfront it will work, but there are not as much hotels and stuff like this on it. And I think you can use trips.com. I would recommend it. That's great. So that's the useful apps. How was the travel? How was my way entering to China? And do you need a visa? So you get, and that's also something newer, but it depends on your country. I'm German, luckily. I think for France it's the same. I think there are some other countries it's the same as well. And there you can go visa-free 10 days to China. When you arrive at the airport, it's like everything. In my case, everything was fine. There was a police officer. He only asked me on the immigration, yeah, what are you up to? What are you doing? And I think if you say business, sometimes you can also ask your suppliers that they give you an invitation. So you can show that, but in my case nothing was asked. I only told him I will go to the Canton Fair, and it was fine. It was even, in my mind it was chill, because my passport has gone to the wash machine, and he made a little joke out of that. So entering China in my case was really cool. When I arrived, I know you can also do, you have for a SIM card, which is as well very important. You have two options. The first option is that you buy online SIM card. I myself, I haven't done that yet, but check a video, I think it works. It can also work for China. And in my case, when you arrive in Guangzhou, there was like a counter which sold, I think, two different SIM cards. I think mine was maybe 20 euros. I'm not sure. They will provide you different plans, and you can choose one of these plans, and that's very, very important. There you can only pay with Alipay, so you should have set it up, because you arrive, you won't have Wi-Fi, number one. And number two, also an option. I think it's even the best for you. I think Alipay isn't an option every time. In this case, the lady gave me Wi-Fi, so I could use Alipay to pay, and it was also a bit like a shock because I had no money. I hoped it will work because I have never tried it before. If not, I would recommend to you, get some money, and I'm not sure anymore if you can also pay in like euros or dollars. Take some cash. If not, you can change it after, when everything works. You take the not local transfers. I think you can take it at all as well, but I arrived in the night. I arrived like at 1 o'clock in the morning or something like this, so I took a taxi. I think also he ripped me. I think he ripped me because I paid like 3 times more when I came. Where is this? When I went back. So maybe take a Didi right in the front. I think that would be much better. So I visited some, in this case, potential suppliers. Actually, I visited none of my suppliers I have worked already with upfront, so that's also great. I only visited like 2 potential suppliers and 2 suppliers I've only ordered a sample. What I would recommend to you is like bring a little gift from your country. In my case, before I was upfront in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, I bought German chocolate, which they had there. It's like a little gift. I think it's great to take a little gift, even I think when you already work with them long times. I think even when the relationships is greater, I think even how they will handle you will become even greater. But already I have to say, I was totally blown away how welcoming the suppliers are. Even in my case, where I haven't spent any money, they haven't done any profit from my site. I've only bought like a sample maybe for $80 to $100. But what they have done, the first supplier when I arrived, they ordered Didi or taxi or something for me to get me from my hotel in Guangzhou near the Canton Fair, and they brought me, like, it was a long ride to Dongguan. It's a city, I hope I said it right. If not, if there are Chinese people in the comments or Chinese speakers, correct me. So I've gone to Dongguan. It's a city very well known for mode, like textile, etc. It was like a 1-hour drive. They got me a car which got me from my hotel and brought me to their company. After I checked some samples, it's really great. You can directly check materials, you can discuss with the persons, you can directly build a deeper relationship with them. So I checked everything, I checked the color color codes, I checked the fabrics, I talked with them. The morning after they invited me to lunch was also very nice. I ate with them, really great food. They ordered like I think chicken wings. For me, maybe they thought because I'm European, I wouldn't like maybe Chinese food too much. But yeah. So like Chinese suppliers, they're very kind and very friendly if you work with them, and they are very helpful. From what I heard from other sellers which have more lasting relationship already with their suppliers, I heard stories about they book your hotel, they give you a private driver, they will even maybe if you're big enough, they will maybe give you a sales agent or something which will be with you the whole day, they will eat with you in the evening, maybe they will even do party with you in the evening, they will maybe do karaoke. I haven't done karaoke with the suppliers unfortunately, but yeah, they are very, very welcoming. So after I visited a second supplier, as well it was somewhere really in the nowhere, they got me again a car to get me there, and it was really far away and I was really tired. I even slept a bit in the car. I think it was again 1 hour drive, and I arrived at their showroom, and again, after often the people you have contact with is like the salesperson, and the salespersons, they often speak English. They speak really decent English. But another fact I will also talk about later, a fact which shocked me by the way about China, is not many people are speaking English, but I will talk about it later. So the actual bosses, the CEOs, often they don't speak English, but they have a ritual. When you come, they serve tea. They have like a special table and they make a little tea ceremony, and after you sit down with them, you drink tea, they make you coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker, I'm a coffee lover, I'm a caffeine addict, but it's not too common to drink coffee, but they got me like cold coffee. It's very nice. It was a fabrics company. They made like very nice handbags for women, and they said, yeah, choose one. You can take one with you. I've denied that because I think it was a bit also a little package and things, but they are very nice. So yeah, they offered me this little amulet. It was something I didn't knew at all before I was in China. You see there's a little tiger on it, because their signs is not like ours, it's by year, and so there are different animals. Me, I'm tiger. This year is the year of the dragon, so Chinese parents are, what I heard, they are very proud when they get a child in the year of the dragon. But there are also other animals, like there's even a pork. Some funny animals like a mouse, I don't know, animals where you would say like, I don't know. Me, I'm happy to be a tiger, I have to say. And they offered me like a little leather handmade thing like this. To say they are very kind, and I also talked about this because I think it's like a good conversation subject with the Chinese suppliers, to ask them to know which year you was born. You can have a look. For me, my year is 1998, so I see, okay, it's the year of the tiger. You can have a look on your, and it repeats. I think there's 10 to 12 different animals, and after it repeats, I think it's a funny conversation subject with the Chinese suppliers. So yeah, I've been with them. I also passed an order. I asked until when you will be ready, which fabric. I could have a look directly. I could tell, oh no, this product is a little bit too tall, I would need it a bit smaller. For me, I think it's a big advantage how fast you can make a business. You don't have to wait like 10 days to receive the sample, and after talk them again, and after they have to change it, like you can do things very fast. That's great. And after again they invited me to dine with them. This was great. This really like very nice food. I will blend in some things, and we were in a Chinese restaurant, and they really even abused, because the table was full. There was like 10 different dishes on the table. There was even a dessert. I was like poof, I was like full. Really my stomach was so full. And after they even gave me a ride to my hotel, even if it was like I said 45 minutes or something away. Really hospitable and friendly. Not all Chinese people, I think. I don't think that like all the Chinese people, they are super friendly in hospital. I don't think so. But if you do business with them, really great. Nothing to say. The best hospitality I saw until right now. I've also done business with Turkish people and French companies and German companies, and no, it's not the same. Business with Chinese companies, I think they are the most hospitable. So 3 facts where China surprised myself. First of all, it's a giant country, and the cities are giant. Even there, I've been to Guangzhou. Near to Guangzhou is Dongguan, where I visited a supplier. Afterwards, I googled how many people live in Dongguan. I saw it's like 8 million. And after there's another city, it's like Foshan. There's Guangzhou, and it's directly stick to it. You could even say it's the same city. And I also had a look how many people live in Foshan. It's also 8 million. So it's like really, 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 really big. There are many, many people there. That's one thing you have to say. They live, in my mind, very well. If you go out, you would say that there's no crisis. Like the people are in the cafes, they eat, they're living their life. I thought maybe it was a stereotype, but I thought maybe they'll be much on their phone, etc., and maybe a bit distant one to another, and not too much into human relation, but they're great within each other. They talk even more, as I found in Europe. They're less on their phone, they're more in the communication one with another. The only thing, and that they talked as well to me, they work very, very much. That's not a stereotype. They work very, very much. I know on them there's a big pressure because there's many, many people, and so they told me as well, you're replaced very fast. It's like really another thing like in Europe where people are lazy and won't work anymore, and it's hard for companies to find good workers. I think the Chinese workers, they're doing a crazy good job. That's unfortunately for them, but they work very much. We'll come back to the facts which surprised me, because that hasn't surprised me. I already thought that they will work very hard and much. Number 2, I don't know why, I thought the Chinese people don't speak English at all. Really, not even a hello, not even nothing. What I experienced, it was like a big surprise. I thought they would speak like a decent English. I've been, as I told before, to Malaysia, like the Malaysians spoke English very well. Before that, maybe I live now in a country where it's not the best known country for people which speak English very well. I live in France, so I'm not sure if the French people are too known for good English speakers. I don't think so. When I compare it to my home country Germany, Germans speak better English. You have to say it as well. If you go to Netherlands, the Scandinavian countries. But I've been to some countries. I've also been to Ukraine, to Yugoslavia, to Bosnia. I've lived in Turkey, by the way, and even in Turkey the people, they do not speak English very well. But I think the country where I have been until right now, where the people speak the less English, is China. Really, that was a fact which surprised me very much. So I think as well, if you visit your suppliers, I think it's great, because after you're with Chinese speakers, you eat with them, they will really take care of you. If you have any question, you can ask them, and if not, I think it's like a bit of an adventure. It's also something cool, like you are really in another country, in another culture, and you can dive in, even if it's unfortunate you can't speak too much with the people. The third fact, it's like very, very, very Chinese preserved culture. Like if you go to France, yes, of course there's a French culture. If you go to Germany, there's a German culture. If you go to Turkey, there's a Turkish culture. But somehow many things are a bit westernized, like have big influence from the US. China, yes, of course, there was as well a McDonald's, there was a Starbucks, maybe some other chains, KFC, but if not, there's only Chinese restaurants, there's only Chinese people, they have not much foreigners. That's also something great. When you see a foreigner, normally they are there to do business, but I would say like in 99.99999%, they're only Chinese people. It's a very Chinese preserved culture. They have their writing, etc., and that was also something which surprised me, but not in a negative way. If you want to go to a country and you really want to experience something different, you should go to China. For me, at least, it was like the by far most exotic and most exciting country I've been to. And I think as well, if you do vacation there, I think it's great. Brings us to my last point. I recommend you to go to China, and we will do 2 parts of it. Would I recommend to you to go to China as a tourist, number 1, and would I recommend to you to go to China as a business owner or someone interested in business? So for both, I can already say 100% yes. As I told, for me, like cultural wise, it's like the most interesting country. For me, I only had 1 day off, and I just strolled around the city, I have to say, without any big plan. And there was like the old people in the cities, they sing and dance, and there's so many, to me, unusual things, and it's like very, very interesting, very beautiful, very nice. All these impressions you get is like overwhelming, and I only was in like a big city. I heard from people I met there, they've been to Guangzhou, I think is the name, and also from the suppliers, they really recommended to me to visit China. It's like a giant country with a very, very, very rich, unique culture, and I think already cultural wise, mindset wise, it's great. For me, I think there are many other very interesting countries, but for me it was until right now really the most interesting. Don't say most relaxing, etc., but mindset technique, it was really interesting to go there. And number 2, would I recommend to go there as a business owner? 100% yes. But what I would do, I would go at my own. That's the best way to meet new people. It was like one fact I really, really, really loved about being in China, in Guangzhou. I think it was also due to the Canton Fair was held there. It's like every time when you see another foreigner, China, you could nearly be sure that it's another business owner. Also, most probably an online seller or maybe a store owner or doing some business with physical goods. And I made so many great contacts. In 5 days, I think I meet more great contacts like in the previous 2 or 3 years before. I met like business people from Malaysia, from New Zealand, from the Netherlands, from Syria, from Russia, from Iran. You can meet so many people and it's crazy. You can meet like really good people. I had no evening where like I didn't knew what to do. Either was with the suppliers out and had dinner and talked, or I met other foreign business owners, get out with them, talked about business with like nice discussions. I think if you're interested in business like me, you know, it's just great to exchange about their business and your business with other business owners, talk about mindset, themes and things like this. And I think in general, to meet like-minded people, it's great. I have to say that not only for holidays, but for business, I would recommend to you go to the next Canton Fair, 100% go there, or even like this. Mindset-wise, I think it's a great experience. Business-wise, it's a great experience. It would be good if you have at least an idea. I won't publish them right now, but I got some nice ideas. I saw for existing products, I found better suppliers. I saw products where an interesting business could be created around, but it's also a question of focus. Yeah, I would recommend it, 100% I would recommend it. Go to China, experience it yourself. It's like Alibaba in real life. There's like so much business going on. It's also what I forgot, it's like a hustle vibe, which I like very much. It's like a hustly buzzly vibe, like everybody's doing something, business, everything, tack. And yeah, so in this sense, I hope this video helped you and maybe motivates you to go to China yourself. If you have any questions, comment below. Please leave me a like, subscribe to my channel. There will be many interesting videos coming in the future. Also more Amazon specific subjects. And also I will make a part 2 on how to go to the Canton Fair. And I will give you some more information. Here's my badge, by the way. In the next video, I will talk about the Canton Fair in detail. In the video after, I will talk about my experience from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, how it is as well, all with a business perspective, with a perspective about an expatriation, as these are the subjects which will be very interesting to me. And in the video after, we will talk again about Amazon FBA and in general business. My friends, have a nice and successful day. If you haven't started your business, if you're interested about Amazon FBA, if you want to know how to build a mostly passive income at the moment, have a look at my Amazon FBA step-by-step guide and see you next time. Have a nice day and bye bye.